Look at all the Austrian banners. Look at all those flags. What is up, Kingston? Welcome back to the Napoleonic battlefield. Today, we have a 4v4 on trivia. And, well, if you like Austria, there's a lot of Austria on the field today. There's 4 Austrian armies. You have a 10-pointer, a 9-pointer. I think it's actually, yeah, this is the 1813. I think this is 1809. And another, shoot, I don't even know what that one is. But then, of course, they have one UK that will be joining them on the field today. Now, for the French, well, they're either 9, 10, or 11 pointers. I can't really tell you. Although I can say that I believe this is a 7-pointer for Denmark on the French side. And there's 3 other French armies. Now, there is a nice dividing forest in between these 2 armies. You can see it ranges all the way with the river and the forest. Not an easy fight, that is for sure. Now we do have some cavalry running. I don't know what they plan on doing. These guys are going to die a glorious but terrible death. Already 4 of them have died. They're about to hit some stakes. And they break. Yep, they break. That's madness. Running right into the line infantry. They wanted some medals for sure, and they did not get medals. They just got, you know, the laughter. Ooh, this is a guard artillery. Oh yeah. No wonder they wanted to get it so badly. This artillery piece is deadly. It is very good, and yeah, the coalition does not want to hit this area. They're going to want to go around another direction. But we'll see what the Austrians plan on doing. There is more horse artillery and cavalry and infantry pushing across over here. So France is going to try to make a small foothold on this side as Austria is pushing up. Yeah, Austria's gonna have to fight a flank battle, a flanking fight. Austria did bring a lot of cavalry, though. I mean, I don't know how many of them are heavy cav. We do have some dragoons, chevaliers. I don't see any. Oh, there's one Crossier right there, an 80-man unit of Crossier. We do have another one here. You have a decently large amount of infantry. Now, artillery is already firing. I'm assuming from the French, you have the French positions right here. Look at this. Man, France has brought so many guns. It is unreal. Totally unreal. And the UK, oh man, don't do it, UK. They're going right, they're walking right in front of these French guns. It's like they're parading in front of them, like, yeah, just to show how much we actually don't care. We do have some Denmark line infantry getting, or not, cavalry from Austria getting charged by Denmark cav. Kind of ran out there for a split second, trying to maybe stop Austria dead in their tracks. Maybe they want to be able to hold this bridge, hold this side of the river. And obviously this is where the coalition is now going to set up. Now I have a great concern that the coalition are going to not be aggressive. With all this artillery from France, France is not going to be aggressive, so the coalition is going to have to be. France is going to sit back on their guns, guys. That much is probably very obvious. I mean, even on this left side, they have artillery set up, but they have pushed across. But there's nothing really to react to them. Now, there is a huge, and I mean huge, artillery battery. Here, you have 6 guns set up to face the French. In France, well, they have heavy cav. They brought the right stuff to take on Austria, that's for sure. Heavy cav, and lots of it, hopefully. So we get some nice, beautiful cav charges here. Austria looks to actually be committing here. I don't know if this is a wise idea or not. Pushing, oh no. Oh no. Can they make it before the guns fire? Oh, he could have made it. He definitely could have made it. Look at how long it took him to fire. Unfortunately, the artillery is now going to make these chasseurs cheval just pay. But they are actually getting themselves out of there. I think he could have made it to the artillery. He would have lost his cav unit, but, you know, he would have made it. But what I'm saying is Austria pushing across here while France pushes their flank seems like a ill-advised strategy. Even with your artillery here, you got nothing when it comes to like a reserve line. You need to bide your time. You need to wait. And the UK are pushing. Man, they're going... Actually, I was about to say, I was like, I mean, they have to attack. I know that. But they are attacking some of the best defended positions that France has. And if France has everything well... I mean, the only place where I'd say they have a successful attack is right here, because France is on their side of the river. Like, they don't have to push across the river, across trees. They just got to fight that flank. I'd put a gun maybe, you know, here to defend just in case France decides to march across. But I guarantee you France, with their guns set up here, they're going to want to sit back and they let their ally just die, most likely. Some players, you can tell when they have such a nice defensive position that they will just sit there. You know, you can sometimes tell. You're like, okay, yeah, for sure. They don't want to move. Oh, we got some grenadiers from France in the line. Look at these guys. Very clean. But you can hear the roll of the drums as Austria is coming across. Like they are not beating around the bush. They are coming straight at the enemy. France probably is going to readjust their lines so this artillery can start really just destroying this Austrian army. However, there's a bright silver lining to this. The artillery is not facing the UK anymore, and the UK can start, you know, making an attack here. Someone is going to die to that artillery, though. That artillery is not going to, unless they basically tell it to stop firing, it is going to rack up a lot of kills. Now, France hasn't really made too much more of a push. I mean, I still hear drums. Austria does have a defensive line. They have 5 regiments plus a skirmisher unit. They have cavalry here. They're just waiting. Still just a bunch of artillery firing, but you can see Austria actually is going to die really fast to that artillery. They're already getting hit. I mean, it's just sitting right there. But France, they're basically going to try to pull the enemy into their guns and let the guns kind of do most of the work. If this is a heavy or even just, yeah, they have a cross-the-air unit. Oh yeah, this cross-the-air unit, once Austria gets up here, they could roll and smack right into the Austrian army, and this will actually, that'll be pretty easy. So long as France does it. I hope France does it. I want to see a cav charge. Clear up a couple lines, just boom. Once they get close, of course. Don't do it now. If France charged right now with the heavy cav, it would be madness. Now, nice. They actually aren't staying here. This actually is... Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. No way did they just lose this. Oh, what? Oh, they hit limber. Okay, that's an exploit right there. Come on, France. So they were about to move, and they just hit the unlimber button so that they were invincible for a second, so they wouldn't lose their artillery position. That's kind of a... That's... I mean, their guns are stuck here now, and they can't get to the guns, but still, that's not a... That's not cool. You can't do that. You can't just... When you gotta accept it. You gotta accept that you got outplayed. You should have cav defending your guns. But we do have Austria. Like I said, like the British were pushing quite effectively here. They have horse pushing as well. France, they basically have given up on the guns and they're running away. And you know the irony of this whole thing is because they hit the unlimber while they were getting in melee, their artillery still can't fire. And they're probably never going to see those guns again unless they retake this position, which I'll be the first to admit I didn't think this attack was going to go very well. I thought that France was going to keep their gun here and defend it. I think they could have done a very good job with that. Now is the time to send in the heavy cav. Oh wow, now the artillery from the UK, I mean, it feels like the whole momentum has shifted here. France just all of a sudden was in such a good position, and now they are the ones who are dying. Or retreating, I should say. They're not dying, they're retreating. And they still have a gun emplacement over here, but the attack for the coalition is happening over here. They're attacking this flank. Also, this is why I think you shouldn't put your artillery right up in the front lines, because as soon as your front line adjusts, which, you know, it's like 50-50 that your front line is going to actually move, you know, it's all over. Now, there was a cav fight. I'm sorry I missed it. I was too busy criticizing players. I'm just kidding. There's a small cav clash. Austria looks like they got the better hand. Artillery is just kind of dueling back and forth here. France maybe advancing across this open field, trying to get a bigger flank. Austria still has a defensive line here. We have more Austrian troops now, hopefully pushing across. Although pushing right in front of these guns once again is madness. They should just push in behind the UK. I don't know what France is doing though. I'm not sure why they just keep marching away. They're not standing. They're not fighting. They're not using their heavy cav right now. They need to be. They just don't have to be that scared of the Austrians this early on into the battle. You can afford to take a small line battle at first. Now the UK, my prediction is they're going to dice up, slice and dice this smaller Denmark line. These poor Denmark troops are going to die so fast to the UK. They just keep falling back too, though. Like, you got to make a stand at some point, you know? Now, France could use this town. They could push infantry in, push cav in, and just go for this line, get a bayonet charge. They have 2 grenadier units so far that I know of. So, you know, that could work beautifully for them. And now we have another... Oh, Denmark is split up. Interesting. Alright, so Denmark is in 2 places. That means the multitasking is going to be a lot harder. You have Austria pushing further away from their ally to go for the right flank, take on that fight. Austria now advancing, like I said, directly into the guns. Maybe they can get a cav charge with the Ulanen. Maybe. You do have a huge movement, though. I mean, the coalition have not gone backwards, and the French have. The French have constantly been going backwards. They have such good units for melee, too. Like, they could take it. They could take a fight. Now, France could come collapsing in on the side here. Austria has taken this town, but France could punch the flank. They just need to move now. They need to go in using this road maybe and hit the flank, because this front line, I mean, their allies just don't want to take a fight. This gap here looks a little daunting, to say the least. Got some skirmishers supported by cavalry, you know, shooting up some of the Bavarian Chevaliers. Now, this is a Bavaria mostly army. Don't know why they're running forward, but they want to run forward. I'm really worried that these crosshairs are not going to fight infantry. I know I love to see heavy cav charge infantry, and it doesn't seem to be really happening. It looks like France wants to do a cav v cav fight with their heavy cav. What madness! What madness is that? Still looks cool though, you know? Yep, here it goes. Big old cav fight. Crosshairs will do well at first, but, I mean, France is not supporting the flank of these crosshairs as well. I mean, they're going to throw some more forward here. Let's check and see if anything is happening over here. It does look like Austria has pushed up. And France is being so passive in this battle. It's killing me. It's killing me. The French just are sitting back and letting the coalition choose where to attack. Now, we may have a cav charge here. If France is going to be not all smart about us, just pour line infantry in. Now this Austrian cav unit technically can't just charge past this French cav unit that's up, you know, stopping this. And yep, look at this. They're just gonna get shot in the flank.
Our men are running, sir.
It did displace the artillery for a split second here, but that artillery is still alive. Very, very healthy still. The French did win this cav engagement, so they can start pushing on the small Austrian, you know, army. There's so much heavy cav over here. They could use it. It is in the wrong place. The French have the resources in the worst place possible, in my opinion. It is all over here. Like, all of their heavy cav is over here. The actual line battle is happening over here. It looks like the French are actually going to finally take an engagement. Oh, no, never mind. They're not. They're running away again. Reforming the lines again. But if they don't do some more melee, they're going to get just slowly but surely worn down by the Austrians. We have another advance here by France. We got some heavy cav shifting over, though. These guys could charge in here, hit the flank of this Austrian line. Like I said, France should have maybe kept something in the town here, and they could have bayonet charged the side, and then sent the heavy cav here, line up shoot, or even just have heavy cav here. Push these guys forward a little bit, run the heavy cav up, and boom, you have shattered the Austrian line. Just that easy. I think we have a Rhine, a 9-point Rhine on the field. These larger units with the striped pants, that's definitely, I think it's a 9-point Rhine. With a Denmark force backing them up. Oh, we actually have some engagement happening here. Yes, we have a cav charge. Cuirassiers, Hussars. Oh no. Oh, France. France getting hit in the rear. Oh man, France is totally engaging in the forest here, pushing forward. Austria, they're gonna try to hold this line here. We have cavalry in the back of Austria. What madness is this? They haven't even back charged them yet. Come on, please back charge them. I'm itching to see some cav versus infantry. They're staring down the rear of the Austrian army. This is a battle of missed opportunities. Look at this. I mean, the coalition knows it too. They're throwing cav forward to stop this, but I mean, yeah. Oh man, France is gonna fumble that one too. Got some good UK cavalry engaging, so they should break this cuirassier. This could save the army of Austria here. France now still pushing forward. Austria is going to be fighting a retreating battle here. They are delaying a Russian army or a French army with 5 units, which is crazy. 5 units, guys, are stopping a French army from advancing, or like they're delaying them, I should say. This artillery is still firing, so, you know, they could still be doing a lot of damage. Austria's doing the right thing here. They're just shooting. Now, over on this side, it does look like France did not like how badly they were losing, so they fell back. So Austria, once again, is going to push forward here. We do have some cavalry that is going to try running across. I'm not sure if they're trying to go for some artillery. We got Ulanen charging in here. A nice fight by the riverbed here. Lancer's gonna break them. France has their line, but they are shifting up some heavies and more cav. Yeah, maybe this is a newer player, because they keep running their troops forward, which is crazy. You never want to do that. Like, running your troops is just a bad idea. You're going to exhaust them really fast, and, you know, it doesn't actually move them that much faster. It's like a small boost, maybe. UK, maybe are going to start pushing up. I'd assume they would want to, you know, get up with their ally here. Austria is falling back a little bit. I'm assuming this is just because of the French army that is pushing the rest of his army. Because this is all one army. This one army has been fighting two French armies. Two French armies. I mean, this looks like a pretty easy win for the coalition. I mean, the French are trying to outshoot them, so we'll see. Maybe some cav charges, maybe something like that. We have Rhine setting up in another defensive line. He has some large, chunky units. I don't think he will necessarily win against the Austrians, but he could stop them so that maybe, just maybe, France will crush this Austrian flank. They have two armies poised to surround this Austrian line. That is the only hope I have at this point. This is the French's hope is right here. This attack. They can bayonet charge in. They could go for that melee. Austria's having to condense their line quite a bit. They're shrinking it, pulling more troops back this direction. UK are still advancing, though. Here we go. France is advancing. That's what I want to see. And look for that edge. Look for the chink in the armor. Look for, like, a step, an angle, and then just hit your troops on that. I mean, this French army is barely engaged. They're half their army is just standing there, and they could be pushing forward. Man, that's they need to be way more aggressive. They could be marching like really close while Austria's falling back. Get really close while they're trying to form up and they can't shoot you. Yeah, look at this. If France pushes this column out, there's so few Austrians here, and they're in a pickle. They're gonna have to fight an angled battle. This is the perfect placement for France. Like they got this in the bag. If they can just hit the right area, right here, guys.
This building has fallen to the
Look how weak this area is. It's, for one, got depleted units, and two, they can't face both directions at once. If France pushed these four lines up, they would be shooting literally on the flank of this Austrian line. Look at this. The whole flank is open. There are French staring it down. It makes me want to go play now. You know, I just want to play a game. Like, let me play a game, please. Oh, we have some dragoons charging into the town here. Man, I swear I've only seen cav used against other cav, and I think this is no different. The cavalry is engaging Ulanen. Denmark has their troops way back here. Rhine holding a small line. Interesting battle. I would assume there's some maybe newer players, and that's totally fine. Some newer players, or just, you know, not comfortable yet with the bigger armies. Especially this French player. I think they're probably not comfortable with the massive army. I would assume. Like I said, I would grab 5 units and push them forward right here at this angle. Because the coalition are in one of the most awkward defensive lines you will see. Nothing is shooting right in this direction. And there's nothing really there. Now, they could throw some cav in. I would love to see some cavalry charge in here, you know, like charge the Cuirassiers into this corner line. We do have some cavalry from the UK pushing forward. Charging some more Denmark line infantry. Man, this is just turning into just a grind battle. Just a lot of shooting. Oh, we do have cav charging. This Austrian line, it's like they received and repelled a cav charge. France has managed to hold on to this town. That's kind of their anchor point for this flank. Denmark is kind of getting just diced up, and the coalition have so much in reserve here. Now, I do see the French advancing in mass. It seems like they do get the plan together. It just takes a little while. Like I said, this whole French army isn't even shooting, which I'm gonna stop going over this. I know I'm probably tired of hearing me repeat it, but I think the French are just being really slow on the draw. Austria has been given a lot of liberties here to play a defensive battle and just delay the strongest part of the French line. We have Denmark pushing forward with some, you know, Grenadiers Guard or something like that. Look at these. These guys may actually make some attacks here. We do have the Green Rascals and other UK lines holding here. They have plenty of reserves. He's pushing forward another, you know, section of his army to engage, as Denmark does have that flank they're pushing up. To be fair though, Austria's kind of just sitting one long line and not really trying to push forward either. So yeah. Holy smokes! Cuirassiers charging in on the French line. Oh my gosh! France is gonna back charge. Are they gonna? No, they're not. We may have a general movement of the French as things get more and more desperate. But we have heavy v heavy fighting while the rest of this fight starts happening. And maybe the French are going to step things up just because they have, you know, start taking so many losses. They're actually going to start, they're putting a lot of pressure on Austria now. We do have a UK cav charge once again against Denmark. Denmark just not really catching a break whatsoever. We do have, it looks like a cav charge that smacked into Austria. I feel like they should have been doing a little bit more of this stuff earlier. I don't know if this Austrian cav unit realizes that he's being charged by Cuirassiers, but he's running away into another infantry unit. It's kind of an odd strategy. Holy smokes, we have Denmark looking to kind of get really aggressive here. Yep, they've outshot the UK, and now they are pushing forward. This may actually change things. Nice cav charge to throw back Denmark. Things are starting to heat up. Oh, the counter volleys, though, definitely going to start obliterating that. Here we go, though. France needs to go in here. Now, oh, man, it's all happening at once. France charging lines in against Austria as well. It's like out of desperation, maybe the French are starting to, you know, melee. But it is happening on a massive scale. Oh man, France is going straight at the... That's going to break before it makes it. Man, oh man. So it looks like this charge is actually not going to go the greatest here. Cavalry, though, still chewing up a bit of the Austrian line. They did break some of them, but you see a lot of French broke as well. And I mean, all it did was break a small portion of the coalition's line. Austria looks to actually be finally making a push against the 4 French units that are left here. We do have more cav charging forward. Is France in melee? Yes, they are. Oh my gosh. France is blobbing up here, which, yes, that is an exploit. They are blob charging now.
Our men are running.
Holy cow. France realized they weren't going to win, so they went for a blob. Well, you know, if you can't win by fair play, at least you could try to, you know, win by exploiting the game. And that is, looks like that's what they're going to try to do. See, before I felt a little bad for France. I was like, you know, like, man, I feel bad. Like, they're just not, you know, just not in the greatest game. But I don't feel bad for them anymore, you know? Like, you can't cheat and expect, you know, have anybody feel bad for you anymore when you lose, because they're just exhausting their troops now. Let's see how Austria deals with this, though, you know? These troops are all exhausted. Like, the blob will work for first charging a line, but these guys are all probably really tired now, so if they start shooting, Austria probably could do something about it. Now, they are going to fall back here. I mean, thankfully, they are winning so on this side that even with France over here cheating, it's not going to matter. They're still going to lose. Denmark, I will say, Denmark has played quite well. They have gone up against a higher pointer, and they have done what they could. You know, they've done what they could. And France has the cuirassiers that still have not engaged. I mean, they are now. They're going to engage some hussars. Oh, here we go. Denmark once again receiving a cav charge. This time I think they may actually do better because these guys are wavering. They got shot right in the face. Oh, I missed the other cav engagement, didn't I? I mean, Austria just has way more cav guys than anyone else. They just have way more. I mean, we have the results of this battle, so we can see probably how many troops were brought in the coalition versus how many were brought on the Imperial. Guarantee you the Imperial brought more forces, brought more troops. Now the coalition are falling entirely back. Like I said, Austria still has half of their armies, so they can still try holding here. France is getting just absolutely demolished here. Denmark trying to reform the lines maybe. France has very few troops left, so it's just up to it's gonna be up to these Austrian armies to do something, you know. We have a cav charge that hit a square. Denmark now going to pursue that. Oh, look at that. There we go. They're going in. Bavaria, France, Denmark, all here. I do believe these guys are being sacrificed. And, you know, maybe a worthy sacrifice. Rip the Staffordshire knots. Now, Austria does have quite a bit of cavalry hovering over here. I mean, they have heavy cav, they have Ulanen, they have dragoons. This is not going to bode well for France. France is trying to fall back, maybe regain, you know, a line with their ally, but it's not going to matter. They're just going to keep getting harassed as they try to fall back. Very interesting battle, guys. Not the regular battles I have, definitely. Like, this one had some questionable strategies, and obviously, you know, an exploit. I was warned there would be blobbing, so it's not like I didn't know when they submitted it, but, you know. Oh, look. France is starting to blob again. I mean, it's 2 units, so, you know, it's not crazy big thing at the moment. It's still frowned upon to do 2 or more units on one, but they're not actually making it in there. And the UK could push back and just start shooting them as they try blobbing up. We have the rest of the French just getting absolutely demolished by Austrian cavalry charging down, surrounding and destroying the French in detail. Here we go. Let's see if the UK can stop this French mass charge. We do have Austria over here. I mean, this fight has not really gone a whole lot of places. It's just kind of been the same, just volleys exchanged by Bavaria and Austria. They both have the forest. It's going to make it a little more difficult. Here we go. I was wondering when France is going to blob again. This looks like all the promising beginnings of a blob charge. Or maybe not. Maybe they realize they won't work this time. I don't know. But Austria is now going to start just trickling. The trickle effect has started here. They're just going to start following down this line, hitting the flank of France, slowly but surely wearing them down. The strongest army is definitely this French army. And it's thankfully not doing a ton. It's just it's still engaging, but it's, you know, not doing a ton. And Austria is not losing necessarily here. They're just trying to keep away from it enough to where they can still shoot it and not die. Denmark, in my opinion, is the MVP of this fight. They have held quite well in the center. They have been trying their best to, you know, beat the UK. Now they're fighting Austrians. They have been everywhere. And they have managed to hold themselves together quite well. There they are. This is like, man, where are the enemy? And so I think the biggest thing, besides the mass blob charge, the biggest thing that the coalition had running for them was the French have basically been trying to outshoot them this entire battle, which is going to always make a high, you know, high kill, high death battle, because the French will still deal that damage to the Austrian, to the coalition line, but they are not going to necessarily do amazingly well at it. That is very nice, though, you know, very cool. You see, Denmark actually has a reserve. Man, this fight is probably going to go on for an eternity. I feel like this fight's probably going to go on for a very long time. Like, the French still have cav. They've shifted over to deal with the Austrian cav. They have a squareable to support their cav engagement. And this is going to turn into a massive line battle that will only end when someone starts breaking. It'll probably take one spot for someone to start breaking. So whoever can find the chink in the armor of the other, you know, is going to win. Because neither side probably wants to get close for melee. This is like Austria is kind of starting to like pull apart a little bit of this French line. They're kind of shifting more forces to consolidate fire on these few French regiments. And it does look like the UK are starting to get worn down. You see this Portuguese line, you know, 38 men remaining. Some of these UK units are rather small. But right here, guys, right here is looking... Now, they do have a tree line they're using to defend themselves, but still. Man, imagine being in such a gruesome spot and you've been here for so long. Just a stubborn fight. Both sides stubbornly refusing to withdraw from the other.
Our men are running, sir.
Who's running? Where are they running? I suspect, I mean, Denmark has a nice, you know, reserve line they can throw forward here. But I suspect that this is where the break is going to happen. Austria probably will break Denmark. Oh, what is this? Uh-oh. We seem to have a bit of a conundrum here. We have a Denmark, half of a Denmark army behind the lines. We have Austrian troops go in for the LOC. The Allied general has been killed. Denmark seems to be going in for the kill. Look at this. Denmark is pushing cav and infantry up here. Austria is going to have to deal with this. Now, I would send a cav unit and try smacking down the Denmark line here and hope they still have any squares. If I was Denmark, I would be very cautiously advancing, trying to take on the rear of the Austrian line. Oh, we got a French advance. Oh, yeah. See, these Crossairs are still very much alive, and they could still charge in against an Austrian line and really just destroy them. They could... I would have pulled them right here and gone in the center of this Austrian line. Instead, like I said, they seem to be doing a lot of cav charges only. Seems to be that's the only thing they want to save their cav for. Well, there you have it. You have a cav charge. There's your cav engagement. So we have a bayonet charge here as well. Oh, why did they form a square? Come on, send that cav in, rear charge them, yes! Okay, this is what I was talking about. This is all you need. You're gonna watch an Austrian regiment just collapse. You're gonna watch them just collapse in their entirety. A beautiful cav charge here. And now the sandwich of French infantry. This should have happened so long ago. Look at the massacre. Look how fast it happens. Holy smokes, that took like, what? Till there's 11 minutes left for there finally to be a Cuirassier versus Austrian line infantry cav charge. Took long enough, but it was worth the wait. And here's where you just now start pushing your infantry up, and just as France just start pushing in here. Like I said, there's Denmark lines here. I think the coalition's going to lose now. I do believe the coalition will lose. Unless they can win a decisive victory here, it is over. Oh, that's good to finally see some decisive action. Look at this. Austria is just getting rolled back. Denmark now pursuing the flank of the Austrians, who are now closing into the last defensive line here. And yeah, Austria just, man, they're toying with each other. It's not working well for them. This is the time to start thinking of LOCs. Now let's see who has what LOC. Now we do have a 2-pointer, 2 4-pointers, or 2 2-pointers, sorry, 4 points total. The coalition does hold the majority of the LOCs at this point in time. So unless the French actually manage to, you know, take them in 9 minutes, it's still going to be an LOC victory for the coalition, though they may have lost the line battle. However, I will give them, you know, some leeway room because France did blob charge Austria as they're winning on this side over here. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. We'll see what the coalition can do.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
I'm still saying Denmark's the MVP. You know, I think they're the player that has done the most damage. Whether my morale or just holding the line.
Our men are running, sir.
They killed the Austrian general over here for this Austrian army that didn't get smacked in the back by Cuirassier. Now this Cuirassier unit, once it's rested up, should go in again against the Austrians. Be an easy win. Clear up 3 units here, let them go in, boom. There's that offensive line, guys. You can see the flash musket fire. I'm sorry this battle has been less than exciting compared to some other ones I've had. Man, I'm even like a little sleep deprived, and so I'm like, when there's something happening, sitting here, I'm like, man, I'm kind of losing my train of thought, staring into. I'm getting lost in the immersion, and I'm forgetting where I'm. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to get some cool looking shots for you guys, so you guys can still enjoy this battle. mean, Austria does have some very large units here, but you can see they are starting to break in the center here. But they, for the longest time, the French literally let the coalition call the shots. They let them decide where they wanted to attack and all, and they didn't seem to want to stop them. We may have some heavy cav pushing forward. Denmark definitely feeling the hurt here, but they are starting to break the coalition. There is only a few minutes left, 6 minutes. The coalition kind of need to just wait until there is barely any time left. They have to live until the LSCs get all taken. We'd have another heavy cav charge going in against the Austrian line. But yeah, all the LOCs, guys. The coalition went for an entire LOC thing. Now, the French could easily start grabbing some two-pointers. There's a two-pointer over here they could go grab. They could grab some of the LOCs back here. They have a little bit of time. I don't know if they even seem to care. Like, Denmark has some regiments. I don't know if they actually seem to really care too much about it. And quite honestly, this is my opinion. And I'm not trying to talk bad about any players, because, I mean, if you see me play, you know I've had some terrible plays too. I've made some terrible decisions when I play. So, obviously, I say that with the disclaimer that I don't think I am above, you know, making some terrible calls. But I think this battle could have been a much more decisive French victory if they'd used their heavy cav properly. Now, obviously, Austria had some cav, but it was never in the right place. Which one of the reasons you had to bring cav as Austria, too, is to stop the enemy cav from just absolutely destroying you. You know, counter-caving the enemy cav when they go in for that, you know, attack. Now, it does look like France is going in, other France pulling back. At this point, I think there's nothing really left of the coalition. I'm just going to fast forward, skip to the end so we get the results. Unless something changes, it's going to be I'm going to call it coalition victory. Just because of the cheating on the French side. But also because they do have LOC. The coalition does have LOC, so I'm just going to say LOC. Usually I'm like, well, you know, technically they won LOC, but they didn't win the line fight, or vice versa. But in this one, I don't think, you know, I don't know. Once you start cheating like that, you know, it's you change the course of the battle, because who knows how Austria would have footed that. I think France probably still could have charged in with one or two of their grenadier units, and they probably still could have beaten, you know, the Austrians. Also, yeah, that was a Steam message for me. Don't go check your Steam messages. It was mine. That was mine. I hate that happens. I've watched YouTubers and that happens where like a notification pops up and they recorded it with their video, and I'm like, am I going mad? Like, I could have sworn I heard a Steam message. So that's me. So don't go check your Steam message or think you're going crazy. Anyway, it looks like the last defense here. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. Like I said, this is a not even a two-pointer. Not even. But I'm going to keep fast forwarding. Might as well. Still, like I said, France kind of was, they played right into, you know, they played right into the coalition's hand. They went for a shooting fight. Something I say a lot, and I will say it for this one as well. If you are marching straight at the enemy and closing in from melee, you are not playing the Imperial side right, unless you have a very specific build for shooting. And even then, you know, probably shouldn't. But yeah, you can see a lot of kills probably just from shooting all the Crossieres. Did pretty well. Probably running down some troops, I'd imagine. Make sure they don't come back as well. But yeah, let's pull up the results real fast. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we have Noid, who set this one in as the Austria 1809. Got 1809 for his losses. 1506 for the kills. You have Corpus with 1,000 losses, 1,041 of the kills. You have the UK with 1211 for his kills, 1252 for losses, and then Hakeem with 1,015 for his kills and 1806 for losses. On the other side, you have Knight with 1765 for the kills. Yeah, definitely the MVP I think he got most kills out of everybody. Yep, he did. Yeah, I think he really carried it very well. You have another French player with 1502, another with 1623, and oh, sorry, I haven't even read their names. Albert, Dirty Boys, and Verm. And Verm got 1038 as for their kills. Now you can see the size of the armies. Yeah, 16, 2000, 21, 25, and then 21, 25, 15, and 28. So, you know, Austria brought more, but not by a decisive amount. But still, yeah, that was the battle, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all so much for joining me. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and as always, I will catch you all in another video.